ACES Interviews. Conversations to empower. Introducing Rob Dunger.
Hello and welcome to ACES Interview Conversation to Empower. I'm the host and speaker. I'm joined today by Rob Dunger, a radio presenter and producer on Suffolk Sound, as well as the co-founder of DIScoverABILITY, a show about the world of disability and distance. Thanks for joining me, Rob. So, what was the motivation behind starting DIScoverABILITY?
Oh, that's difficult because there wasn't any actual motivation about doing it, because it happened more or less by accident. A friend of ours, a friend of yours and mine, Lisa Tight, she and I started talking on my radio station about cocktails, about pina colada. It does get to discoverability in a minute, but we started talking about pina colada. I did a whole series about what's your favorite cocktails, and we both talked about it. We were on air saying, where you'd like to have a pina colada. It is an exotic drink. And for some reason, I fell in love with Lisa's voice, and we got chatting, we became mates, and only online, like you do. And then I found that she'd got a disability. She lives with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. And when she said that to me, first of all, I don't have any disability, or I'm not disabled, and I'm what people used to call able-bodied, that sort of thing, all the wrong terms. But I don't have a disability, so I knew nothing about disability. And when she said that, I hadn't got the foggiest idea. So somebody like me, what do? Do you pretend you know what's going on, or do you ask questions? So I asked Lisa, and she said, "No, I'll tell you everything." So I got to learn straight away. I can ask the obvious questions. How does it affect you? How does it come about? What do you do? And we started doing on the radio station I was with before, 10-minute slots every week, she and I talking about just disabilities, and it was fun. It's fun. But people started reacting on social media, because radio is more than just radio now. People talk on social media, they chat, they contact us. And we soon realized we needed to do a little bit more. So we started doing an hour every Wednesday, and it exploded almost. People coming from all over the place telling us about disabilities, and later on differences. Because when we start talking about the word disability, some people are disabled by a difference, by alopecia, maybe by scarring, by so any facial disfigurements. And we were talking about that as well. So we're treading very carefully, because I've got a big mouth, Leo, and I say all the wrong things, and I never know what to say to someone with a disability. But I found the best way is just to talk about it, say, well, how do you want me to handle it? What do you want me to do? How should I ask it? And it became part of my favorite part of broadcasting, talking about making awareness, not just the person with a disability, not just the carer, because they have a lot of work to do, but people like me who haven't got a disability yet. The chances are we'll get one later on. Chances are, I'm a certain age now, but chances are I've got hearing aids now. Look, first time in my life. Chances are someone, when you get over 70, 80, will probably have a disability. So it's creating that awareness. So it wasn't any plan. It was just, I call it a God incident, that someone said, talk about it and it will be fun. And it was. It seems a bit naughty to say talking about disability is fun, but it is. It's talking to anybody else. You've got mates who are different, and that's it. That's how we went on.
Yeah, because like you said, disability affects everyone, and it can affect anyone at any given time. Important that talked about, and when with people with disabilities and differences, it's all about increasing that awareness of their lived experiences and sort of train people that, this is what I had to contend with on a daily basis, and this is the obstacles I face. And yeah, I think it's really important and powerful discoverability. So, my next question is, what do you find empowering?
Empowering is probably the knowledge that I've got that how language can really affect, how my language can be really hurtful to someone without knowing, how my attitude can be really hurtful, and at the same time, how my language and how I talk to someone with a disability or in the world of disability can be empowering, can give encouragement, and the feedback we get. I mean, we do a radio program, okay, that's good, but the feedback we get offline on social media is even better. I get to learn more. People's stories come through to me, and I'm thinking, oh, there am I. It makes me feel very selfish, actually, because I'm worrying about, I don't know what, the car's got a flat tire. I can get out in my car. Somebody who is using a wheelchair, they have to plan. You can't be spontaneous. I've learned how much of an advantage I have, an unfair advantage, because the people with disabilities and their carers are not looked after in the same way. I mean, a lot of people think disability is using a wheelchair and finding a ramp to get up some steps in a disabled toilet. They don't see all the other things. They don't see Alzheimer's as disability. They don't, so many things they just ignore, or they don't ignore, they don't know about. We're quite ignorant. We don't know about these things. And when I was growing up as a young boy, if I saw someone with a disability, maybe someone was blind or something, my mother would say, don't look, don't stare. And it was like, that's fine, don't stare. But it was almost like, ignore them, put them to one side. It's nothing to do with you. And I understand that staring, because staring hurts. Staring hurts, it's natural, but it hurts. But to not look and to ignore, I think is downright rude and wrong. And what's empowering me is the people coming to me now and saying, we didn't know about that until you talked about it. We didn't know about how rewarding it is. If you can't walk on the sand down to the beach, put your toes in the water. We did it with Lisa. She hadn't been in the sea for 9 years. We took that great big wheelchair with the big wheels at Felix right down to the water. You put her toes in the water. That was heaven. That was heaven. That's what empowers me. It's I'm almost like ringing the bell. Almost like a religion. Listen to me. I'm talking. It's the new news. This is what disability. And then I start talking money, because we all know about the purple pound. And I say to businesses, okay, there was a case of a gentleman in one town. He wanted to buy some razor blades. You can buy them. They're quite expensive. So he went into the one shop and he couldn't get in because everything was very narrow. He was in a wheelchair. So he had to go to the expensive shop to buy them because he could get in there. If that other shop had made it accessible, they could have had his money. If I have a restaurant and I make it as available to people with disabilities as anybody else, they'll come and spend money. And for businesses, that's what money means. That's what they're doing it for. Okay, you're going to be very well done, very, very worthy, but you'll get the purple pound. And we need to talk about that. That's what empowers me, bringing back normality and being recognised by different people for the work that we've done. Elise and I were invited to go along to the new beach hut village in Felixstowe to see what the facilities were like for disabled people. They did never ask me a few years ago. I'm not an expert on disability. I've got a mouth that talks about it. That's my empowerment. I've got a gob, Leah, a bit like you with what you do. And I'm going to hijack your program now just for a minute, because I want to tell everybody what an amazing bloke this is. What work you do there. Somebody should nominate you for an MBE. There you go. Stop blushing.
Wow, that was thank you very much, Rob, for that. Hopefully these interviews are kind of getting outlet to people who may find them of interest. Yeah, I just wanted to go back to what you were saying about the purple phone, and I think you're right. I mean, unfortunately, ableism is intrinsic to our society. And like you were saying about as a child, you were told not this type. And I think that mentality of kind of don't look, don't engage, and don't understand.
No eye contact. Don't look in the eyes. But you talk about ableism. I think ableism is a label. I don't even think people realize it. It's not done on purpose. It's inbred. It's in there, and they're thinking it's a kind way, but it's not. But we've got to change our attitude. I don't think we should. I don't think we should vilify people who are ignorant about disabilities and disabled. We should try to be kind to them. We should say, yeah, come on. Some people don't like it. Some people with disabilities don't like to talk about it. But if you're up to talking about it, do it. Say, well, come and have a look. Come and have a look at my chair. I mean, wheelchair snobbery is amazing in the disabled world. I was talking about off-road wheelchairs, and there's a whole group of people who they're like train spotters. It's fabulous. But ableism is there, yeah, but I don't think it's not like a political party. It's something that people do without really knowing. But that's your job and my job to put that right.
Yeah, and I think like education is so important, especially with young kids. I remember I used to volunteer with young children, and because young kids don't have a filter like older people, they will cry straightforwardly ask you, why are you in the wheelchair? Why do you move like that? Or for me, why do you tell me like that? And then when you answer that question, it's like, okay, cool. And that's it. It's like, I wish sometimes we could all be like that, because then we would all kind of understand each other a lot better.
Children do see difference and disability, but they're not scared of it like grown-ups are, and they will ask those questions. They haven't got that thing. Oh, I shouldn't really say that. They'll just go straight up and say it. The parents might be horrified, or the guardians they'll be horrified. But we're getting there. It's going to take a long time yet, but we're getting there.
Well, that leads me nicely onto my next question, which is, what difference would you like to see or make in the world?
I'd like to see that difference didn't make a difference. There's a good slogan. Don't let difference make a difference. We could powerful. I want to say, all right, you're starting up. What should we say? Starting up a new theatre. Right. We won't make special places for disabled people. We won't make special sound systems for people who can't hear. We won't make special lighting for people who can't see. We won't make special toilets for disabled people. We'll make everything for everybody. So you don't have to plan. You can just go in. All right, there might be a little bit of difference here and there, but it would be lovely to say, I can go in, I can be spontaneous, because people with a disability can't be spontaneous. They've got to ring up, they've got to plan for days ahead. But wouldn't it be nice to go to the theatre and say, oh, have you got a special? You don't need a special place. We can fit you in anywhere. We can get you there. We can sort it. It'll maybe take a bit of jiggling. That would do. If you go to the restaurants, then the bar is at the right level for you. When you go in, we need, should be standard. I have got to say, though, I've got to take my hat off to Marks and Spencer's in Colchester. Have you been there yet? It's a new Marks and Spencer's on the outskirts of Colchester near Stanway. And I went there with my sister the other day, and she went to the toilet, and she came back and said, how were the toilets? I am fascinated by disabled toilets, because they are, sorry, There is only, no, I can't say that word, but they are poo. Some of them are bad. So I went in there, they had a disabled toilet left hand and a disabled toilet right hand, depending on where your disability was. And I never thought of that. So if you go in with a carer who can't lift you from the left hand, they had a full changing places room with a hoist for adults, a changing bed for adults, a screen. They had medical disposal boxes, proper toilets, and then they had 2 mother and baby rooms, or parent and baby rooms, I can't say mother and baby, where the baby could be breastfed or changed. It was amazing. It is worth going there just to have a look. And they should issue postcards. I've been to Marks and Spencer's toilet. That is where we're aiming. And Marks and Spencer's, I'm going to say the word 100 times, and I'm not going to get any money from it, but I think well done you. That's what we need. Has this got a bit political? Have I got a bit political for you? It doesn't matter.
No, yeah, the changing places are great. Definitely come across some really good ones. And I don't know if you ever heard of them, but some of them also have the toilet that wash and dry. They're really good. They're really
Even in this toilet, if I go in and I go to the loo, I might put my coat on the hook. If you're in a wheelchair and you go in, the hook's too high. They had hooks low down as well. Clever is every single little touch. That is really clever. And an alarm cord that was attached to the floor, so nobody could come in and tidy it up. And I would go and live in Marks and Spencer just for the toilets.
and hopefully, by the sound of it, if it was nice and neat, it would probably nice and clean too.
I think it will. I think it had been serviced just about an hour before, and it was spotless. It was because it needs to be. Because again, some disabled people need to sit on the floor, and that is a working place. So yeah, so we know about it. Look, I'm telling you about some disabled people as if I'm new to the business.
Wow. Well done, Morgan. That's encouraged. And as Robert said, we're not advertising them, but apparently their toilets are great.
But Leo, if they're listening to this and they want to treat us to a coffee and cake one day, we will accept bribery, won't we? We'll go down and we'll do a video. You and I do a video from their toilets. We'll do that.
Definitely, that sounds like a plan. Great. Well, so I wondered, I know you're busy at the moment with the Suffolk Sound. I wondered if you wanted to talk a little more about that.
About the new radio station?
Yeah.
Well, let's first of all say DIScoverABILITY was it's a program I did on Felixstowe Radio. Well, I've left Felixstowe Radio now, and we're setting up a new radio station called Suffolk Sound, and we're doing it. DIScoverABILITY is coming with me. I said I will go to this. It's my station, but I said to my partner, I'll only do it if I can take DIScoverABILITY with me. So, and our studios are on the seafront in Felixstowe at Beach Street at Manning's. It's going to be highly visible. We're going to have some names. I can't mention names at the moment. We're going to have some names that you know, music that you love, and it's going to be great. We've had so many people come forward and say, "Can we take part? Can we help?" It's a radio station full of goodwill.
That sounds great. Well, thank you so much, Rob, for joining me today. Where and how can people connect with you?
They can come to you and say, let's have a word with Rob, but that's probably the best way. You can be my PA. They can find, you got the name wrong, actually. It's Rob Dunger, but it doesn't matter. Rob Dunger on any social media, on Facebook, Twitter. We're even at Suffolk Sound. We're even on Instagram, and we're even on TikTok now. We are moving forward. So Suffolk Sound, Sound, S-O-U-N-D, singular, you'll find us, or Rob Dunger, just search it. If you can't find us, go to Leo, because he'll put you through, because he's a good bloke.
Good. Well, doing that, Dunger, Robert Dunger. I'll share all your social media links and also your website with the interview, and thank to everybody who watched it. Check out all the other conversations, find out more about my coaching and speaking via my website, leoh.co.uk, and H's interview will be back for another powerful conversation. Bye for now.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Marks and Spencers. We're here.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow.